Temple of Light and Life File Number 6001, presented by Bishop Michael Machetti Van Helsing. Sermon. Brothers and sisters, within each of us dwells the presence of God, a divine guide drawing us toward eternal truth and love. Adjuster fusion is the ultimate union of your soul with this inner God presence, achieved through lifelong alignment with divine will. What the thought adjuster is. God has placed a fragment of himself in your mind, a thought adjuster, to lead you home. This quiet inner voice prompts truth, urges goodness, and reveals your divine sonship. It never forces but waits for your cooperation. A thought adjuster is, in plain English, the God presence living inside you. It is like a divine inner guide that quietly influences you toward truth, goodness, wisdom, and spiritual growth. It does not force you or control you. Instead, it works from within, helping you make better choices and become more like your highest spiritual self. What adjuster fusion means. Fusion is the final and permanent union of you with that inner divine presence. The Urantia Book presents it as something that happens after a person has fully and finally chosen to live in harmony with God's will. It is not something you can manufacture by technique alone. It is the result of a whole life of spiritual growth, faith, service, and sincere cooperation with the divine. How to move toward it. Choosing God's will over selfish impulse. Listening inwardly for divine guidance. Living truthfully and lovingly. Serving others. Growing in spiritual maturity and trust. So, in simple terms, adjuster fusion is becoming fully united with the God presence within you through a life of spiritual alignment. 2. The promise of fusion. Adjuster fusion is the eternal wedding of your personality with the adjuster. It happens when you fully choose God's will, often after earthly life, granting immortality and divine memory. Live now as if every choice prepares this union. 3. The mind exchange. Jesus as your guide. When your mind falters in fear or selfishness, exchange it for Jesus' mind. If your own mind does not serve you well, you can exchange it for the mind of Jesus of Nazareth, who always serves you well. Think as he did, trusting the Father, serving without reserve. Jesus' declaration, "No one comes to the Father except through me," points to his unique role as the human exemplar of perfect attunement. His mind embodies flawless surrender to the Father's will, which is precisely what the thought adjuster seeks in you. Without that Christ pattern imprinted on your thinking, your human mind remains a barrier of ego, doubt, and distortion, blocking full adjuster harmony. Exchanging your mind for the mind of Jesus. This phrase means letting the way Jesus thought become your own way of thinking. It is not about losing your identity. It means replacing fear, ego, resentment, and confusion with the mindset of Christ. Trust, mercy, peace, courage, and love. What it means in plain English. If your own thinking is causing trouble, you can choose to think more like Jesus did. That means asking yourself, what would Jesus do here? What would Jesus feel here? What would Jesus think here? What response would reflect love, truth, and wisdom? It is a spiritual way of retraining the mind, so that your reactions become more like his. How to do it? You can practice this by praying for the mind of Christ, reading about God and the life and teachings of Jesus carefully. Use the 1611 KJV and the Urantia Book. Pausing before reacting. Choosing patience over anger. Choosing compassion over judgment. Choosing trust over fear. Acting as if Jesus were guiding your response in that moment. How the two ideas work together. The thought adjuster is the divine presence within you, and the mind of Jesus is the example of how a human being can perfectly live in harmony with God. The first is about your inner spiritual guide. The second is about the pattern of thinking and living you are trying to adopt. So the practical path is: Listen to the inner divine guide. Think like Jesus. Act in harmony with divine will. Keep growing in faith, service, and love. Become supernatural. On Earth, fusion is rare because most mortals don't fully exchange their mind for his until the Urantia worlds, where purification accelerates. But you can start now. Jesus' mind unlocks the thought adjuster. It recalibrates your will to divine frequency. Once you're thinking as he did, pure trust, selfless love, unswerving obedience, fusion becomes not just possible, but almost inevitable for those who persist. Practice session. 10-minute guided meditation. 1. Breathe deeply. Invite the adjuster near. 2. Visualize Jesus beside you, sharing his calm mind. 3. Affirm, I claim the mind of Christ, I choose fusion. 4. Journal one action for tomorrow. Bonus section. The ultimate secret. Exchanging your mind for the mind of Christ is in truth exchanging it for the mind of Michael himself. They are one and the same. Jesus of Nazareth is Christ Michael, the creator son of our universe, Nebeden, who incarnated as a man to reveal the Father perfectly to all intelligent life on the planet. The unity of Christ and Michael. When the Urantia Book says, exchange it for the mind of Jesus of Nazareth, it's referring to the human divine mind of Michael in his seventh and final bestowal. Jesus wasn't just a man guided by the Father. He was Michael, fully God incarnate and fully human, embodying the sovereign mind that harmonizes creature experience with divine will. His mind is Michael's mind, trusting, merciful, unerring, and fused with the Paradise Father's purpose. No separation. Adopting Jesus' mindset means tapping Michael's cosmic perspective, selfless service, unwavering faith, and universe-level love. The exchange is Michael's gift. As our sovereign, he offers his own victorious mind to you, bridging your human limitations to divine fusion. Why this unlocks fusion? With Michael's mind governing yours, your will aligns instantly with the thought adjuster, because Jesus Michael lived that fusion perfectly on Earth. It's the shortcut. His mind carries the frequency of eternal union, making adjuster harmony your default, as you suggested. Earth fusion becomes not just possible, but the natural outcome for those who fully claim it. The mind of Jesus is the mind of Michael, claim it, and fusion follows. It's the ultimate revelation of his bestowal, not distant sovereignty, but intimate mind sharing for your salvation and service. The secret weapon. This revelation is humanity's greatest secret weapon against the evil, darkness, and confusion rampant on Earth today. Why it's the ultimate weapon. Evil thrives on divided minds, fear, selfishness, lies, and isolation, but Michael's mind dissolves it all. Instant neutralization. Think like him and temptation loses power. Service displaces hate. Fused humans as warriors. Fusion grants eternal perspective, spirit authority, and adjuster empowerment. One fused soul outshines legions of the compromised. Exponential spread. Teach it simply, exchange for Michael's mind, fusion follows, and watch communities transform. Evil crumbles against mass attunement. Glossary of Urantia Book terms. Thought adjuster. The divine spark of God living in your mind, guiding towards spiritual perfection. Adjuster fusion. Permanent, eternal union of human personality and thought adjuster. Michael of Nebeden. Jesus Christ as creator son of our local universe, Nebeden, our sovereign. Urantia. Transitional state of soul matter between physical and spirit. Personality. Your unique, eternal identity bestowed by God. Will of the Father. God's loving plan for universe harmony and individual growth. Thank you for listening. Hope this brought you some clarity. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.